All right, a little after 3 o'clock, we handle 4:25. Pregame at 4:25. Then all the action of what will be a great setting. Game 5. Can't get any better than this. If you like baseball, this is you dream about these days. October, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Yankee Stadium, Game 5, Tanaka, Keuchel. You know what? If you're lucky enough to have a seat, it doesn't get any better in this in sports than this game this afternoon. Ed Coleman's report brought to you by Interstate Battery Distributors of New York and Connecticut. Every battery for every need. By Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the preferred pizza in New York baseball. And by CSCA Local 830. Eddie, I just had a caller just brought up the idea of Frazier playing for the Mets. Yeah. The Yankees are going to have a hard time signing him because they are. I had Cashman here 2 days ago, and he said we are 100% getting under the luxury tax. Right. We have been committed to it. Mm-hmm. We didn't do it last time. We paid the price. We are not going to have these guys growing up and be over the luxury tax where we pay so much money. 50 cents over the dollar for everything we sign. Yeah, we're not doing that. Yep. We're going to reset the thermostat. That being the case, they're going to be very limited on what they have money-wise. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to sign Sabathia back. Frazier, if he wants a multi-year deal, he's going to go somewhere else. Right. The Mets would make plenty of sense. Would the Mets make a reach for Frazier?
Well, that's tough, Mike, because, again, I don't know what he's going to look for.
Or is David Wright going to be in their thoughts again?
Well, listen, I think that's still on the periphery of their thoughts simply because he underwent the last surgery, again, the back surgery. But here's the deal, with Frazier. First of all, I'd love to see him there because they need that in the clubhouse.
Rah-rah guy. They need a clubhouse. Well, they need a clubhouse president. Exactly. This guy's a good clubhouse presence. He's a New York guy. Right. He's a local guy. He's a rah-rah guy. Right. Yeah, he'd help the clubhouse a lot.
And he's getting better as he gets older in drawing walks, which, Sandy likes. Walks, and he hits home runs.
He does hit home runs, and he's a good fielder.
He's never going to hit for average.
And he's a good fielder.
He's an excellent fielder.
And he's a good positive guy in a lot of ways, and he can hit a bunch of home runs.
And here's the other thing, too. He can also slide to first base if you have some problems with Don Smith as well. He can play over there. He hasn't done it here, but he can do that. It makes a lot of sense to me. One of the big problems the Mets have, Mike, you know this, David he hasn't been around for 3 years, basically, but this year in particular, he wasn't around a lot. That hurt in the clubhouse. And then when you jettison guys like Bruce and Walker, Granderson, they had a problem in the clubhouse.
I'll say this now. I heard this during the playoffs. Bruce was not overly positive about the Met clubhouse when he talked about it from Cleveland. Mm-hmm. He was not high on the Met clubhouse, so I know it was a rough year, so you could see.
Are you saying he won't be back?
Yeah, I'm saying he won't be back. I know the Mets had an interest in him, but it sounds like he has no interest in them. He didn't like the clubhouse very much.
I'll tell you.
It was a decaying year. It was a terrible year.
Yeah, I saw him during the playoffs here, and listen, I said, do you know what you're going to do? He would love to get closer to home in Texas, okay? Either Texas or maybe this Houston team, but in Cleveland, they have GoFundMe pages in Cleveland for him. Right. They want him back.
Oh, they love him.
They love him there. Why wouldn't you love him?
No, he was good. He had a great year.
Exactly. So I don't know if they can fit him in there either, but who knows?
And even the Mets loved him.
They did. Absolutely.
He loved the Mets.
Yeah, that's true. He had a great year for him.
We'll have a long time after this is over to talk about what's going on with the Mets. Mm-hmm. How about the Dodgers for a second? You see them more than I do. Are you surprised? After the great run, they look like they might be like the 84 Tigers. Right. Now they're in the postseason playing like the 84 Tigers. Yeah. They are dominating again. They're back on their game. They look like they're better than the other teams. How about the Dodgers? You saw them more than I did. How about the Dodgers?
Listen, what's interesting to me, I look at their lineup with Sager out of it, and I don't think it's a great lineup.
It's not.
I really don't.
But but Puig is hitting.
Yes.
And they're getting it out of Ethier, and they're getting it out of Taylor, and they're getting it out of a million different guys. Plus, their bullpen's good.
Bullpen is very good. Kenley Jansen right now looks like Rivera. He looks Rivera-esque to me. That cutter looks exactly like what Mariano threw. Plus, he's spotting his fastball. He's been great. And plus, he's a he can go 4 or 5 outs if you need him. Right. But he's almost locked down for an inning. Yep. Here's the thing. Is this the worst nightmare in the world for a Met fan? Yankees in the World Series, if they can get there. And who's the guy for the Dodgers right now? Their man.
Turner.
Justin Turner. Hey, a guy that they know.
The amazing thing is how the Mets missed on 2 guys who have had, and Murphy didn't have a good postseason this year.
Right, he did not.
He hit that 1 home run in the last game, but he did not have a good postseason. But missing on Murphy and Turner, who are almost identical players, almost identical themes. They missed on both of them.
The thing that bothered, and people say, about Turner. Turner was not the same player then as he was now, but
clearly.
He was a role player, and he's always been very good at one thing, and that's hitting in the clutch. He always could come off the bench, hit as a pinch hitter, drive runners in with runners in scoring position. But here's the thing about Turner.
You blame him more for Murphy or more for Turner?
Well, I probably blame him more for Turner in this sense, Mike. Simply, Turner was a guy, he was a clubhouse glue guy as a reserve, okay? He fit into that clubhouse, and I think they overlooked that. They dispatched it. Even though he was reserved, the veterans and the starters liked him a lot and they incorporated him in there. I thought getting rid of him was a big mistake, especially the way they did, non-tendering him.
Who do you think the Mets will hire as manager? There's been a lot of rumors. Obviously, Alex Cora is a guy mentioned. Right. The Osmus has been mentioned. We can go through all the different guys. Sounds like the name that we always brought up and laughed about, Chip Hale, is off the list.
Yes.
But sounds like Alex Cora, and they might be fighting the Red Sox for Alex Cora, right? And then Osmus is the other guy. Sounds like those two. I've heard a little Robin Ventura, a little McEuen, but it sounds like the two names are here in Osmus and Alex Cora.
Well, two things. I saw Cora the other day out on the field. I didn't get to talk to him very long, and he's going to be very coy about what's going on. This was the day that he interviewed with the Red Sox, as a matter of fact. And I said, how's it going? I said, you've been busy, huh? And he says, yeah. He says, I'm a little tied up right now. But, I said, how did it go in Boston? He said, very well. He thought it went very well. I happen to think, I think he's going to end up in Boston.
Listen, Boston Mets, you pick in Boston. It's a better job.
Oh,
come on, it's the Red Sox. It's a harder job, a lot more pressure, but it's a better job. That's all there is to it.
Here's a guy, listen, if you ask me who I would love to see, I would love to see Joe McEuen here, because I think Joe knows New York. He can handle New York. He'd also be great at reshaping the culture of that clubhouse, which they need. Which they need, and I think they want right now. But I'll tell you what, this guy was a long shot, but is becoming less and less as time goes by. Kevin Long, the hitting coach.
Not a long shot, huh?
Not a long shot.
You think he could get? Did he interview well?
Yes, I think he interviewed well. They know him well.
Wow.
Here's the danger.
So you give him a chance of getting it?
Yes, I do. But here's the thing, Mike. That I think it's a risky choice, because you're taking a hitting coach who does have managerial experience, but it's a while ago in the minor leagues.
Right.
Sandy said something, though, during the breakup that kind of caught everybody's ear. He said, when you're talking about experience, it's not just managerial experience. It's experience in the game, all facets of the game, the analytics. Long fits that bill a little bit, so I think he's a guy to watch. I really do.
Interesting. Yeah. And, the players who like him swear by him.
Yes, he's a very good guy. He relates to the players well.
A-Rod worships him.
Absolutely.
Murphy worships him.
Yes,
so exactly. There's guys who love him. There's no question. Granderson loves him too.
He helps the hitters. There's no question. They also like Pat Russler, who is the assistant to Long. If Long was the manager, I would assume maybe Pat gets the.
And then they got to come up with a good pitching coach.
Yes, that's very true. Very true.
What do you think they?
Here's another name before. Here's another guy too, and I know what you think of this guy, Terry Francona. When Terry was here with the Indians, I happened to catch him in the hallway and I walked with him a while, and he was asking me about the Mets manager's job. And I threw a couple of names at him. He says, a guy they should talk to is my guy, Mickey Callaway, his pitching coach, who has gotten he supposedly was interviewing with the Mets today
as manager,
and will get some
if
buzz.
If Francona talks up for him, that's going to help him a lot. There's no question about it.
I don't know him at all, Mike. I've never met him, but Terry spoke very highly of him. Everybody does, so that's a guy to watch as well too.
All right, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that name.
Yeah, Mickey Callaway.
Yeah, and Francona, that's going to help him. There's no question. Francona carries a lot of weight. Absolutely does. And
but they do need a pitching coach. You're right. Listen, Warden was well liked by the pitchers. Syndergaard certainly spoke up for him. DeGrom spoke highly of him. They liked him a lot. Maybe they didn't agree with everything that Dan went along with, but listen, he's been here since 2008. Been here a long time. So I think it's important who they get in there. Who that's going to be, I couldn't tell you at this point in time. Really
Do you have any faith in that starting rotation anymore? Do you have any faith in Harvey or at all anymore? Do you feel good about Syndergaard coming back healthy?
I do. I think Syndergaard will be okay.
You think DeGrom and Syndergaard will be okay?
He'll be fine.
Okay,
I worry the least about him.
What do you think? Can Harvey is Harvey possible to reclimate himself?
I think a lot depends on what he does to reclimate himself this offseason. If Scott Boras, if he listens to what Boras is telling him, and he's going to be out there with Boras most of the winter out in California. So I think if he goes by the Boris regimen or whatever, he might come back and be salvageable. Plus, Boris is going to get in his head.
That's his walk here.
That's your walk
he's
here.
got to
Exactly.
he's got to put up some numbers, or he's not going to get anything.
Absolutely. And this is a guy who was counting on a lot of money.
This guy was counting $100 million to start.
Absolutely.
And now he couldn't get $10 million the way he's pitched.
Exactly.
So that's going to be fascinating to see what happens. The Mets, have so many facets that are going to be hard to figure next year. Like Wilmer Flores. What do you do with Wilmer Flores?
Well, exactly.
I'll tell you who nailed down his own job again, Eddie, for next year. What a September he had. He hit like a monster in September.
He did. Listen,
we all made fun of Sandy for saying he's my catcher. Then he went out and went crazy in September.
Remains to be seen to me for the long haul, but I will say this, that when you look at what Darno and Plawecki as a backup, did down the stretch, they both improved an awful lot. Now, if that can continue, you're okay. If it doesn't, but maybe just stays the same, I'm not sure that you can get by with what you have, but I don't think they're going to make a move at catcher. One thing I wanted to say about Syndergaard was this, and I think Noah's going to be healthy. I think he's going to have a good year, but I do sometimes, to me, and I even saw it toward the end of the season when he made his cameos there, he's got it in his head that he's got to throw 99, 100 miles an hour. He doesn't have to, okay? If he can
get one pitch outs. Mariano, someone should realize this and talk to Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera came off the greatest year I ever saw a reliever have, and the next year he went to spring training, and I interviewed him, and you know what he said? I have to learn to get outs with one pitch. Mm-hmm. I can't strike everybody out. Right. He learned that in 1998. Think about that.
Pretty long career after that.
Right. He knew that you have to be economical. Right. I think it killed Sale. You can't strike everybody out. You got to get some one-pitch outs. Right. You got to get guys out with 1 and 2 pitches. You can't throw 7, 8 pitches to every hitter.
Exactly. Well, and listen,
it's the curse of the strikeout.
If you can throw nothing but strikes and strike guys out with a 10-pitch inning, you're fine.
Well, that's fine.
But that doesn't happen.
No,
guys foul
you
pitches
wear
off.
yourself on.
Yes,
foul balls kill you.
Absolutely.
Foul balls kill guys like him. Foul balls kills guys like Verlander, and when you get to him, you foul a lot of balls off. I mean, Verlander's performance was unbelievable the other day. But there's a perfect example of that. You have to be economical. It makes an enormous difference. Now, you and I will get into something here, which I know we agree on. And I have not studied Hinch a lot. But I am not impressed by Hinch and how he handles his pitchers.
I thought he had a tough inning last night. Yeah.
It was set up for Liriano.
I agree.
The inning was set up for. First of all, I think he went too quick on McCullers. I understand. Listen, McCullers been hurt. He knows him better than me. But give him one more hard ball. Yeah. Judge didn't hit a bad pitch. He actually hit a decent pitch there.
I agree. Yeah.
And he hit it out of the park. So be it. He had a good swing. He put it on it. The guy can hit a home run anywhere.
Yeah.
I would have given him I didn't want that bullpen to have to get 9 outs.
Well, here's the thing. To me, and I'll cut Hinch a little bit of slack from this aspect, okay? I watched Terry Collins try to do this all year. He's got a bad bullpen.
He has a bad bullpen.
And he doesn't know where to go.
And I didn't realize it was so bad till I watched the series. It's not a good bullpen.
He doesn't know where to go. Giles already has a 2-inning save and a 5-out save, and he was going to ask him to get another 2-inning save last night.
Yeah.
This is
and
not
he thinks
Rivera.
Davinsky's going to get guys out. He's not.
And
he's not going to get anybody out.
He's had a tough finish. Here's the thing that
I thought Gregerson was good. Why doesn't he use Gregerson?
Well, Gregerson got the final charge. And you mentioned this before. If you use Liriano in that inning, you can turn
Headley around.
Right-handed hitter. You
not as good a hitter. Not as good a hitter. Then you got lefties twice.
Right. You got lefties twice. You got Gardner and you have
could pitch
Petey
around Judge in between.
You could, or you could go to Gardner and then you could bring in Gregerson for Judge if you wanted to.
I'll even pitch around Judge just to get Petey out.
That's fine too. You could do that absolutely. Here's the thing though. To me, Mike, if you've got a bad bullpen or you don't know where to go, and I understand that that's a problem for him. I go with my veteran guys. I go with guys. Gregerson, I'll tell you this. I like
Gregerson. I thought he was better than this.
He didn't have a great year, but I will say, when you look at it, I think he had, in the innings pitch, he gave up pretty much a hit an inning, which was a lot for a reliever, but 70 strikeouts, 20 walks. That's pretty good for a veteran guy. I knew him a little bit in San Diego, and
Eddie knows every pitcher in the National League. Eddie's got a great opinion on pitchers, and always because he follows every pitcher for a lot of reasons. And Gregerson, when he was in San Diego, was really good.
He had a 31 save season.
He was really good.
Here's the thing. I was in the Astro clubhouse last night. I asked him afterwards. I said, "Look, this is not off the record." I said, did you expect to be in the game last night? And he looked at me and he said, no comment. Okay, and
Gotcha.
I could tell by that
that's a veteran guy.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not going to throw his manager on the bus, but you know what?
Plus, what is Mariano there for? Is he an ornament?
Well, apparently he's the only lefty in the pen. But you got lefty. Listen, Joe's done a great job because he got the righty-lefty all the way.
Joe's got a
lineup.
great bullpen.
Yeah,
great depth,
and he does.
Hey, Joe has a bullpen that Betances can go bad, and he doesn't even have to pitch him.
I know.
That's how good his bullpen
and he probably
is.
Won't pitch
no, he won't. He won't pitch him at all. But the point is, he's got to. Right now, if you're Hinch, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, here's the ball, Keuchel. Here's the ball, Verlander.
Yeah.
See ya. Hopefully, see you in spring training.
Take the day off.
That's it. Hey guys, 125. He'll see you next year.
That's why I think the Yanks are in a good spot tonight. If
Get him out of the game.
Well, Verlander threw a lot of pitches the last time, but if I could pick one of the two to go 9 innings, it's going to be Verlander. Keuchel will probably not
He's
get
not
there.
a horse like Verlander. If you look, Keuchel, he went 8 times 100. We looked it up. 1 time 117, but he's a 6 or 7 most of the time.
Right, I agree.
He's a guy. It's not like Kershaw. Kershaw's not going. Kershaw's looking to get out of that game after 6 innings.
Absolutely.
Like Maddox used to be. Maddox was always looking to get out of that game. The one thing about Maddox, he's always looking to get out of the game.
Yeah.
Keuchel was looking to get out of the game after 7 innings. The problem is, where are you going?
Yeah, he gives you a great 6 or 7.
Hey, you give me the Yankees today, 2-1 down, and the relief pitcher coming in top of the 8th, bottom of the 8th. I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll get 6 outs.
You should. Absolutely.
I don't think they'll get 6 outs.
Yeah,
this reminded me of Arizona so much. Once they went in the pen, they got pounded. Remember that?
Yes.
Didn't matter where they went in the pen.
That's why you saw Randy in game 7.
And if it was Randy or Schilling, the Yanks had trouble. Or any other pitcher, they pounded.
That's right. Absolutely.
And that's what this series is reminding me of. They got 2 pitchers.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And today you got to ride Keuchel a long way. That's why if the Yanks can get the pitch count up early. Now, he might not let him. He might throw strike 1 knowing that today.
That's what annoyed me so much last night, on the Hinch side, simply because I thought I didn't know how the move with McCullers would work out, but it worked out great. He pitched brilliantly. He pitched great. And I said, boy, that's he had made 3 starts since the end of July.
And
he pitched great. And you get that, and all of a sudden you blow it up.
Night before, when he went to McCullers, it seemed to surprise their local guys. He said, why McCullers? He said, because he's a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
Fine. And he pitched great.
And he pitched great last time, but then you blow it up with the bullpen stuff.
I
it was
didn't
crazy.
get it. I did not get it. So, what's your thought today?
I think the Yanks can win this, and I think they can win this series.
And Yankees Dodgers will be fun. That would be fun. And listen, they'll be underdogs again, but good. That makes it even more fun.
This has been fun to watch. It really has. I'm tired of people asking me, "Are you lost?" Like they keep asking me at Yankee Stadium, "Are you lost?"
No, Ed's only lost if he's at Citi Field. He's not lost. He's at home in Fenway.
Exactly.
That's where he's at home in Fenway Park.
Exactly.
That's it.
And by
the
way,
last time I saw you in Yankee Stadium, I hate to say it.
I know.
You had your father's mitt. And you were sitting.
I had his hat.
You were sitting on one side of me, and Dog was sitting on the other side of me, and I had to sit there for 9 innings. And after the second inning, it was 8-0 Boston in Game 7, and I had 7 innings to go.
I give you credit.
And you were on
out.
one side.
I know.
And Dog was on the other side, and you guys just let me have him for 7 innings. And it was 8 runs. It was the only cheer I had all night was when Bernie hit the ball off the wall against Pedro Martinez.
I know that was tough.
That was it. That was brutal. I think that's the last time I remember you here, other than a Subway Series.
And you know who'd be back as manager of the Dodgers? The guy that started it all for the Red Sox that year, Dave Roberts. Yeah.
Dave Roberts.
Yeah, with the steal.
Dave. Yeah. Sunday night, I'm doing mic'd up on, and Jim Bell. I said, Jim, tell me in my ear when the Yankees clinch it so I can say it on the show. He goes, tie game. I went on the air as the 9th inning started, and they tied it up. Right. We sat there and watched the extra innings, and then the next night, again in the pen, it was Gordon screwed it up, and then Mariano came in, and then Game 6 and 7. The Yanks had nobody left.
No, there was
the bloody sock.
Yeah, that was it.
And then Game 7. That was a disaster.
I know that was.
That was the launch. I wonder if Francona had deja vu watching it happen to him this year.
I know. I felt for Terry.
How about him? 6 straight clinching games he's lost. That's the curse of 2004.
Coming back
in reverse.
Coming back at you. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, I'm listening. I thought you and Smoltz were going out for 27 this morning. You know, you got him on golf yesterday, and he just.
You know, it's funny. My wife and I were watching a feature on TV about him on golf recently.
Yeah.
So my wife's a fanatic golfer, and there was a thing about it. He's a great player.
Tremendous player, yeah.
He is like, he shoots 65.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's, and he plays every course in America, so I knew it wouldn't be hard to get him on golf right away. He's a fanatic.
He is
absolute
fanatic.
fanatic.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about when you guys were talking yesterday. Think about the fourth guy. Like they used to go, Maddox, and Glavine, the three of them would meet.
And Avery didn't play golf, probably.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if he did or not, but those three stuck together for all the time. But think about the fourth guy that would encompass in the four. You go to the club. Who's gonna play with?
I know so many clubs where they used to run out, and every club pro on Long Island knew them.
Right.
They played everywhere.
Yeah.
They played. Hey,
they're all great golfers.
I just had all three of them out. You'd go there and they'd say, "Oh, we just had Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz out." They went everywhere. As he said, he lined it up. The other two guys showed up and went out and played.
And all three of them were probably pitching on a different night too. That's
unbelievable how great. Three guys, what great pitchers they were too. Smoltz fits right in this series.
He was
a great pitcher. Thanks, Eddie. Good to see you.
Mike. Good to see
Eddie
you too,
Coleman. We'll take a break. We still got an hour to go. Back.